Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to Jobe's Haunted Town. First off, I really want to apologize about that last vid. I've been way burnt out lately, big time burnout. I've been trying to grind through the videos out there, trying to build stuff, and I really don't have any interest in any of it because I'm really just trying to get more views on YouTube. But maybe I should just focus on what I really want to do, the main goal. I was sitting upstairs thinking about it. Like, let me just go downstairs and really get back to what I was really doing. I stopped here for a bit because I was trying to make videos to earn money to try and help some of this, but in reality I just spent a bunch of money making those videos, and I probably should have just spent it here and we would be a lot further ahead, but I didn't. I know now that was a bad idea. Oh well. Thanks for watching, guys. Welcome back. We're in the build shop. And this happens to be why all of pretty much everything I've done is happening. I built that bike because of this engine. This engine that's 100% taken apart right now. Well, not 100%. Some's together and the whole head's assembled. And yeah, just waiting to go back together. But I needed some parts. I really realized with building this engine back up, Russ Collins built this engine. Russ Collins, RC Engineering. Actually, let me just see if I can show you guys one thing since it's a part. Okay, I had to come over here and figure out where it was. But if you guys look right here, RC Engineering. That's Russ Collins. He stamped this when he bored these cylinders and worked them out and got this head all fixed up. You guys can see those are huge valves. The head is ported too because I ported it even bigger so I knew it was going to flow with lots of boost. And it has his springs, his keepers, his retainers, all the goodies on top for lots of horsepower. And those are dual springs. There's a spring in a spring there. So it's made for lots of RPM. And I want this right. This needs to be right 100%. 100% correct. After all, I wish I knew every person in hand that has touched this engine. It came out of a race bike, out of here's some in the background there, my bike going by. It came out of a shop in Jackson, Missouri. I was in Jackson, Missouri buying parts for another build, and this guy had this engine in the corner of his shop. And I was looking at it like, what's up with that engine? He said, oh, it's an old race engine that I just really kind of want to get rid of. I said, well, how much? I didn't have much left on me because I'd bought a whole nother frame and parts and a bunch of stuff for that build. He said, whatever, $45. That's what I had left. I said, I think I got $45. He said, yeah, $45. He said, it's got some problems. We took it out, replaced it, but you can fix it. He didn't tell me what was wrong. I had no clue what was wrong. Got it home, got it running. I pulled the cylinder off because I wanted to check the ring gap because I didn't want to get it too hot and tear up my rings. Because when I pulled it apart, I saw that. Like, wait, what is that? That's not a stock piston. What is that? That's a button, not a circlip. And in here, let me slide this out. Yeah, it says RC Engineering right there. So Yes, that is a RC Engineering 67 mil, or it's, I think, let me pull that back out one more time. 67H, 67 millimeter bore times 4 cylinders with this stroke is 862 cc's. 130 cc's bigger than a stock engine. Stock engine is 736 cc. This is 862. So yeah, it's gotta be right, guys. 100%. Let's make this correct. It just needs to be good. Slide this pin back in. Don't want to lose any of my parts here. And that faces this way. Goes like that, because you gotta see the reliefs are different. See how they're big ones on the bottom, little one on top. Big ones, oh, I did have it upside down. Big one on the bottom, little one on top. Always want to check that. Intake valve on the back, exhaust valve on the front. Big one on the back, little one in the front. Good to go. And then the other big thing over here, if you guys can see here, that's my top engine case. That's really what I came down here for too, was I was looking for this gear. That's my Go Fast land speed gear, my big one. So when I put my chain on that gear, it's dialed to go really fast with this engine once I get it all done. But oh yeah, I still need to do all that and get it all done. So let's do that. And over here, show you guys what I was just realizing, checking everything over here. If you guys can see, this crankshaft has been heavily modified, heavily cut back, heavily lightened, and balanced. It is a completely balanced assembly by RC Engineering. He did all the top end and all the bottom end 100%. He didn't let, if you sent an engine to Russ Collins, he built the entire thing top to bottom. He didn't use other people's parts. He used all of his own parts and built you an amazing engine that probably put out a little too much horsepower. Because what it did, when I got it, it wouldn't stay in gear. And if you guys can see here on these shift dogs, they're completely rounded off. They're done 100%. So, had to get all that swapped out, which I did. Let me move my gear set here. Let me just go ahead and spin it, move my gear set. You guys can see my shift forks down here. Everything's moving. Everything lines up perfect now because I got a different gear set that has the shift dogs on it are in much better shape and not rounded and polished off like these things because they've been shifted under power way too many times. Everything here is dialed now except for over here. I think one thing, if you guys look back at the video of me fixing this transmission, I didn't really show you guys. If you guys can see here, see the cutaway and the cutaway. When I took this apart, it had been taken apart several times. Look at these screws. They are just junk. Complete junk. They barely came out of there. See how that one's cut across there? And I think this one was cut across there too. I had to cut them to be able to get a notch in there to where I could be able to get them out of there. It was a challenge. As you guys can see, broke the bit, had to get a hardened bit. My hardened bit destroyed the screws. So I was trying to cut them and tap them out with a punch and my hammer. I got all 4 out, was able to get my shift mechanism out because this plate has to come out because that's what sends your oil pressure up to your secondary shaft. So, and that plate also holds the bearing in location and keeps everything in place. So, yeah, that plate's got to be there 100%. And what I need to do right now, if you guys can see, I think the plate's okay because I just barely had to cut it. But I think I can find a new plate. So I want to get a new plate for here. And obviously the new screws, they've got to be replaced. Those are 100% junk. So once I get that new plate in there, get the new screws in, I think everything over here is ready to bolt back on except for this. And really the biggest thing I've been trying to figure out, or, I had to do quite a bit of research. This head gasket, it is almost the correct size bore. It's 60, it's basically, it's like 60, 65 and 65.9 millimeter. It's not quite 67, which the bore is 67. And the bore does have copper O-rings all the way down. So that's good to go. But my O-rings aren't sticking up very much. They're kind of flat. And to replace that set of cylinders, you can't really. Those are his liners pressed into a stock cylinder with the stock liners pressed out, because you can't go that big on a stock set of liners. This crankcase and the cylinders have been cut a lot to go that big. You can go, I think, just about 800 cc's, 810, 820, something like that, with the stock bottom end and stock cylinders. If you want to go bigger, you got to change stuff, and that's what RC did. RC made all the parts and did all the work. If you guys can see here on this bottom end, see where it's way cut in here and way cut in here? It's been machined a lot. I kind of wish I could tip it up to show you, but you can probably see better from here. That cutaway is to accept the bigger liner. The bigger liner has to be able to press into this. This is the top half that would be flipped over. So imagine this will be the other way. And sitting on the top half of here, the piston rods will come out, cylinders will slide on, head goes on top, bangity bang, turbo in the front, carbs in the back, good to go. So yes, that's good. Need a few parts. Good to go here. My advancer plate on this one is dialed too. I changed this advancer plate so I don't get as much advance, and I can actually control my ignition very good, which I modded on my other plate, which is on the other smaller engine. That engine is only 736 cc's, guys. I never knew it was going to work as good as it does and go as fast as it does. But it does. And that bike is awesome, so I kind of really don't want to change it and redo everything to put all this back in. Because I almost need more bike too. I need more tire. I need more brakes. I need more everything. So I think I'm gonna just start over with a whole new frame, whole new everything, with a wider rear tire, probably with some newer wheels, so I can be able to just do whatever I want with whatever I need and can get. It'll be way easier than trying to use old stuff. That's for sure. Yeah. So, and what it all comes down to is right here. This gasket and the cylinders, it doesn't line up good. It doesn't seal. It was kind of working when I got it, but I could tell that there was problems when I first ran it. So I went ahead and took the whole engine apart. And yeah, it does have problems. So I talked to Cometic, and Cometic has already done quite a bit with me. Back in my chair here. Cometic's already helped me quite a bit with getting stuff figured out on that engine. It has a Cometic head gasket also. It's an MLS, multi-layer steel head gasket, and it works totally great. And I haven't had any problems with that setup yet. I've put a bunch of boost at that thing, and it just goes and really doesn't care. It's pretty awesome, actually, because the gasket's sealing all the way across, and the head studs are pulling it down, and it's good. This one, it wasn't. It was leaking a bit almost all the way around on all the cylinders, and yeah, it wasn't good. But he was telling me and talking to other people, Kyle from Boosted Boys, he also uses steel O-rings, not copper, and MLS head gaskets now to hold the boost in. Okay, so they're going to make me an exact 67 millimeter head gasket that will fit that head perfectly, be an MLS multi-layer steel gasket, and it's going to be awesome. And it's not going to cost me a bunch of money to have a custom gasket made to fit around. We were thinking about running a taller O-ring and then overboring the gasket, but it was going to be real close all the way to my oil drain back seals, and I drew it up and the drawing just said no. So I said, oh no, do over. Yeah, so do-over. It's taken quite a bit of time. I've not been thinking about it enough because I've been busy doing other stuff that I probably should not. It didn't really matter. And like Dagwood, that black Honda CB that I built, dude took it apart 100% and he's building something else. So did I even really need to build that bike? Nah. Yeah, it was a cool old CB, but they're not worth the money to do anything with anymore. And I did all the work to put the fairing and the bags and the sound system on that thing, and it was pretty awesome. He took all that off and is cutting it apart, and he's going to make a cafe racer out of it. That there's already about 4,000 of that nobody rides. So, whatever. And if that's what he wants to do, that's fine. That's what he wants to do. It's all good. Have fun with your cafe racer that's not going to have a comfy seat and bags. So, yeah, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Way more to come. Let's get some views going here so we can really get this engine built properly and go very fast. Because once I put this... Once we put the ball bearing turbo on this engine, it might make 30 pounds of boost, guys. I've been warned by professionals. Be very careful. That Turbonetics turbo is a ball bearing. It will spin very fast and make lots of boost. I said, yeah. Okay, guys, let's back to work here. Let's get some parts ordered. I'm going to focus. I'm going to really tie things down. We're going to build us a new amazing drag bike that's probably going to go 8 seconds. It might even go 7 seconds because it's going to have a bunch of boost. And that's what I like doing, is going fast on something boosted and with a Honda nameplate on it, because I love me some Hondas. Honda Ben says, let's ride. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's ride.